All right, everyone, welcome to the Grand Rapids Christian Middle School fall golf meeting. Glad that your family is involved, as we'll continue to let people in as we go. But let's start with a word of prayer and as we get started with this season. God, thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity to get together to talk about the fun things of athletics, the fun game of golf, and the opportunity for kids to learn a little bit about it this year as we spend time in the middle school golf club. Bless all of us. Help us to be safe during this time. We pray for good weather this season, so we don't have to cancel opportunities to get together. And we just pray for a blessing on our coaches as they lead these young boys and girls in this game of golf. And we pray also for a spirit of service amongst our parent community as well, that we need help. And if they can help us and find time to do that, we just pray for that things to open up in their lives to be able to help us out to make this happen for students. So thank you for this group, for this community. May we put you on display in all that we do and the way that we communicate with coaches, with kids, with the golf course, and with each other as we put you on display. In your name we pray. Amen. So thank you again for coming. We have excellent numbers again this year, with about almost 50 students participating. We're just really excited for all 50 of those families to be involved. I want to take us through just a couple of things. If you have any questions for me, there is a chat that you can type things in, and I'll try to watch that as we go to see if there's any questions in there. But please feel free to send something to the chat. Otherwise, when I say, there'll be a couple times where I stop and say, hey, are there any questions? Just unmute yourself, ask a question. You're probably not the only person who has that similar question. So hope to get you out of here in a reasonable amount of time, but to cover some things that are going to be helpful for our time together. Again, my name is Kevin Bruni. I'm the Grand Rapids Christian Middle School Athletic Director. Additionally, I am the boys varsity golf coach at Grand Rapids Christian High School. And that's actually started about 4 or 5 years ago when I was coaching the girls team. And I was just realizing we needed some more girls playing golf sooner. And so became the middle school golf club to try to get our girls and playing golf earlier. And, we've started to grow some interest that way. So if you know people that have girls that are interested in golf, I just want everybody to know that is the reason we started this. Because we need more girls interested in golf at an early age. And we're honored to have all the boys, but certainly I'm now the boys coach, but it started years ago when I was helping with the girls golf program. So let's begin with a couple of items for us to think about. So first, as you know, I think I wrote a couple notes about kind of that first week, and we'll cover that too. But we have 3 defined groups in the middle school golf club this year. We're going to have a girls group that's 5th through 8th grade. They're all going to be together every day with head coach Casey Jortsma. She helps with our JV girls at the high school and is a teacher at the high school. And so Casey's fantastic. And I got to see if I can somehow let that person in still. Hold on. And so she's going to do the girls program. She'll be the main communicator for that and work with the girls. We have the boys intermediate and the boys advanced groups, which are made of 5th through 8th grade boys. So we have a large number of boys. So we try to split them up developmentally, as we do in many of our sports at Grand Rapids Christian, so that we can get them instruction at their development level, at least as best as we can. It's ultimately a flawed process where we get to see kids, one time. We have to make a decision about which group they're going to be in. So the most important thing is our kids are participating. The reason we do this is to get them split into groups so that we can serve them best no matter which group they're in. Everybody gets a chance to play. Everybody gets a chance to practice. So the groups are not that important, but they are important for us just to be able to distribute into small groups. One day a week, the kids will play a few holes out on Indian trails. The other day, they'll learn skills and play games with station leaders around the practice range and the putting greens at Indian trails. So they get a little bit of drill work and skill work. And and then they get to practice some of those skills out there. But also a huge part of the play on the course is for them to learn how to function on a golf course, how to not walk in front of somebody who's swinging, how to stay out of the way, how to play ready golf, how to mark your golf ball. Just a whole bunch of things that have to do with playing the game of golf that aren't common knowledge or even common sense. So they'll get a lot of practice at those things. One of the reasons we go out on the golf course is not to post 9-hole scores, but to learn how to navigate this game together. The meeting point for practice, the girls will always meet right by the first tee sign. If you don't know what the first tee is, it's a youth golf program. My son's a part of it. Many kids that are in this meeting they were a part of it, but there's a sign there that talks about the first tee. That's where the girls will meet. It's a great spot for them. And the boys on the first 2 days will meet by the big tree between the two practice greens. Okay, so the 5th and 6th boys on Tuesday will meet at the big tree between the two practice greens. And on Thursday, the 7th and 8th grade boys will meet there. One thing to always be aware of, think of tonight, really weird weather. We thought it was going to hold off, and then it came about an hour and a half early. And then it kind of stopped and is, largely dried up. My son is actually at first tee right now. So they're playing golf tonight, but it's just crazy with the weather. So be attentive to your email. If you have questions, email your coach. Don't email me. I will not be able to answer all those questions. So just make sure you're emailing your coach about those things. But they will be in touch with you. If we cancel, they will email you. If we are on, then they probably won't email. If you're lucky, they might say like, hey, we're still on, just to remind you. They will be your main communicator for weather, but it's always a concern in the September. We have beautiful weather, but pop-up storms all the time. So just got to be careful with that. Transportation, please drop your son or daughter off, but parking is a major issue for Indian Trails. They do not have a lot of parking, and they have a beautiful practice facility, so everybody wants to be there. So please drop your child off, go grab a cup of coffee from Starbucks, or go do some grocery shopping at Meijer's, or pick up your Walgreens purchases, whatever it is. Leave some space in that parking lot for the patrons, so that Indian Trails can still continue to make money and serve people even when we invade their practice range. So transportation, please make sure we're leaving a little space for that. Does anyone have a question for me right now about the first part of this? If you do, you can unmute and ask, or you can type it in the chat. There's a little function at the bottom of your screen. But any questions after we've talked about this first initial information? Okay, well, we're going to keep rolling then with the next part. So the first week, as I alluded to, you might want to take a screenshot of this or grab your camera and snap this. But Tuesday, the girls are going to meet. They're going to meet at that sign, and then they're going to practice. And on Tuesday, the 5th and 6th boys will also meet and see those coaches on Tuesday. No, there are no 7th and 8th grade boys coming to golf on Tuesday, September 6th. Okay, none of them are coming. So please don't bring your 7th and 8th grade boy on September 6th. All the girls, 5th through 8th grade, yes. On Thursday, all the girls again, and only the 7th and 8th grade boys. No 5th and 6th grade boys on Tuesday. The coaches are trying to get smaller groups so they can figure out who's in what place. They'll take them through some different drills and watch them on the range, and be able to then hopefully by the end of the day, Thursday, be able to place them on their two groups for the rest of the year. So please follow this and get us going. And then the coaches, the individual coaches, will begin to communicate with you after that. So this is what it will look like this year. Tuesdays and Thursdays only, 6 to 7:30 p.m. at Indian Trails. If you're in the boys intermediate group, you'll have 20 to 22 players. Steven Drock will be the lead coach in the intermediate group. And this is kind of the schedule. So again, you can take a picture of this. The girls, your schedule is the same as the advanced boys schedule. Okay, so girls and advanced boys will play this schedule right here, which is, practice range on the 13th, play on the 15th, and vice versa. So So follow these two things. Your coach will obviously communicate this to you. Your coach will communicate this weekly to you about what's happening with some reminders and some feedback. But just want to show you kind of how it works. We kind of change it up, and this is our basic schedule for the rest of the season. Our lead coaches, as mentioned, Craig Coingo will end up being the lead coach for the advanced group. He will also be the person that emails all of the 5th through 8th grade boys this weekend about the schedule for next week as a reminder. And then after that, Steven will email his group, and Craig will email his group. And that will be your point of contact. They'll email you each week to tell you what's going on. And Casey will email all of the girls each week, Coach Schwartzma. So she'll always be the point of contact for the girls. So this is the person when you volunteer, as we do want everybody to volunteer to keep kids safe. We're going to talk about that next. You'll report to this person at their starting spot. This is the person you'll ask about the questions you have on the schedule or the weather or anything like that. This is the main person you'll communicate with. And these people are volunteers, parents. I just want you to know how wonderful these people are. We need a lot of people to make this work, and including each of you. But these lead coaches, they are volunteers giving up their time to serve your child. And so please treat them with kindness, with grace. Ask them lots of questions instead of making statements about the way something is or isn't. But these people want to work with you and partner with you. And that is obviously what Grand Rapids Christian is all about, is making sure that we partner. And each of these coaches is an experienced player or an experienced coach or both. So please just support them and help them help your child. It's pretty simple. I ask my son every day, he's 9 years old. I said, what does a coach do? And he says, help you get better faster. So, sometimes kids clarify things for us. So just help these coaches, support them so they can help your child get better faster. One way you can do that. Oh, sorry, we do have to talk about this. When it comes to practices on the range or out on the course, we weaponize these children with golf clubs, and I do take this seriously. These are metal golf clubs that swing around at a fast pace. It's important that you speak to your child before they come each day about being careful and mindful of other people. It seems like every year kids are not mindful, and we are, sometimes saving a kid from getting clocked with a golf club. So please talk to your child. Our coaches talk about this, but you all know that kids don't always listen to everything that we say. So the more we can say it to them, the better chance we have for them to know that it's a serious thing. Our coaches will ask students to sit out or even not come back if they're not going to comply with the safety things or the ability to listen. Like we have kids with golf clubs. I need you to understand that if your child is somebody who's not going to listen to the coach and they're constantly messing stuff up, that puts everyone else's safety in jeopardy if our coach has to constantly be talking to your child about, what the heck are they doing? And so safety is the number one thing that we have to pay attention to. And if your child will disrupt that or be somebody who's fooling around with those things or not listening, it's just possible that we may have to ask them to take a break for a week or maybe even not come back depending on what happens. So just please talk to your child about this each day. We need to make sure we do a good job with this. We just can't, because of this and because of us talking about this and our coaches saying the things that they say every single day about safety, we're not liable for any of these things. So please, sports are dangerous, including golf. Sometimes people laugh that golfers have to get a concussion test or a baseline testing. Well, we're swinging clubs all around. People could easily get clocked. So it's a dangerous sport. And so please know that every sport is dangerous, including golf. And by participating, you're assuming some level of risk to be out there with people that aren't necessarily the most mindful. And we're doing our absolute best that we can. And we need your help to do that, which is why we talk about volunteers. We need your help to help us keep people safe. We're not asking you to be a golf expert. We're asking you to be willing to say, hey, Jimmy, stop swinging that club when other people are around. hey, you need to wait your turn over here. Coach so-and-so just asked you to do this. We need you to wait your turn. You don't have to be, like pulling people out of there and grabbing them by the ear or anything like that. But your role when you volunteer is to help us keep kids safe. If you know something about the game of golf, that's a huge bonus, but not required to help keep kids safe. All of you specialize. You have PhDs in how to keep your kids safe. So please show us please join us in using your PhD to help us keep kids safe. The coach will manage the volunteers. There'll be a sign-up genius sent out. This is not like hey, maybe we should get a volunteer. This is a big deal. If you want to volunteer to help while your kid's on the course, that's great. There's flying golf balls all over the place out there that you can help us keep kids safe and help them learn how to play in order and all that sort of stuff too. So we cannot do this safely without your help with 50 kids participating. We need your help. And then finally, the last thing that we do is a fun final event, 4-person scramble on 9 holes at Indian Trails. We will have some tee times for this event. So your individual coach will say, hey, the advanced group is going to tee off between this time and this time. And the intermediate group is going to tee off between this time and this time. Or however they choose to break up the tournament that day, they'll tell you when to expect to come. So you'll come, and it's typically around 4 p.m. on that Saturday afternoon. So DVR your football games, all of you who love Michigan and Michigan State football. If you love Ohio State, I don't care if you missed a game, okay? But we will have pizza and snacks afterwards. And if you can, volunteer to bring some cookies, bring some drinks, help our coaches out. If we can all, spend a couple dollars, $2-3 to bring something, it goes a long way, and the kids just have a blast. They get to play, they get to eat, they get to celebrate kind of the fun of golf. And so it's just a fun way for us to end our time. So with that, I will ask if there are any questions or if I went too quickly over something. So think about that as I answer what's in the chat. Erica said, do you mean no 5th and 6th boys on Thursday, September 8th? Correct. That was a typo. I appreciate you, Erica. But no 5th and 6th grade boys on Thursday, September 8th. That's correct. Could you recommend some stores for purchasing golf gear, including clubs? Yeah, New to You is a great place. If you don't know if your child's going to like golf, go to New to You and get some clubs from there. They're very cheap. And I wouldn't buy really nice clubs unless you know your child's going to participate in golf for sure. So I would say that if you want a little bit nicer set that's still introductory, you can search. I forget the name of if you just Google kids golf clubs, that's where I've got all my kids, a couple of light, like hyper light is what they're called, hyper light golf clubs to get started. They have them set up by how tall you are. So if you know your child's 54 inches tall, then you get them the 54-inch tall clubs, right? Like they'll tell you exactly how to do it. So there's a lot of online stores that do a good job with that. If you're just looking for a couple of light clubs, go to Dick's Sporting Goods or New to You or something like that. I would say, oh yeah, Facebook Marketplace. My son just got his most recent set of clubs off of there. So they were great. Do kids need to bring golf clubs? Yes, Gretchen, all of the players must bring their own gear. We will not have any gear there for a child. That was part of the sign up, is to make sure you have some kind of clubs. Tees are helpful. You can always find tees at the driving range, I'm sure. But for sure some golf clubs, and then you'll need some golf balls to be able to play out on your little practice rounds as well. Any other questions that people have? Something I didn't cover well, or that there's a question that you had? Okay, you will not need any money. You've already paid, so I have bills to pay with Indian Trails, but you won't need money for any of the practices or the tournament that occurs on October 1, weather permitting. So you should be good to go as long as you just bring your child, and then we would also, as I said, I just have to make sure I plug this when the Sign Up Genius comes out. Please find a night that works for your family to help us keep kids safe while we play this fun game of golf. A lot of my boys golfers will be there volunteering and helping, and they can't wait to work with your sons and daughters learning the game of golf. So it'd be fun to have some JV and varsity players out there helping out your kids as well. So they're fired up to help too. So thank you for participating. I'll stay on the call for a little bit. I'm going to stop the recording now. And if anybody has a question, please just stay on, and